Hi everyone, and welcome to Efficient Economics by me. That's Kunal Punjabi. So today we're going to be talking about trade restrictions, specifically a question on imports. Let's get right into it. Okay, here's the question. Now, whenever you see such a question, all right, read the question stem first. So let's go for that. Discuss whether or not the imposition of import tariffs by a country will reduce its unemployment. All right. So discuss based questions always have two sides of the coin, for and against. So you have to create both arguments. Let's read the paragraph now. There was a global surplus of steel in 2017. In mid 2017, the US government considered imposing tariffs on steel imports so as to protect its declining steel industry. All right. So right here, they've given you a hint of what a tariff is. Even if you didn't know what it was, you know now that it's a form of protection. All right. It's a protectionist policy. Cheap imports from other countries were reducing employment in the US steel industry. The pattern of US employment was also being affected by improvements in education. All right, so we have some hints over here. Using this data, we can answer our question. All right, so let's get into the answer. As I said earlier, discuss based questions always have to have both sides of the argument, for and against. Let's look at the for side first. Import tariffs may raise the price of imports, of course, right? That's the whole point of a tariff, to raise the cost of an import or the price of an import, because of which demand for imports may fall, right? So, as per law of demand, as price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. That's what we're talking about right here. Imports will get more expensive because of a tariff, because of which the demand may tend to fall. So, how do the stakeholders react? Let's look at the consumers first. Consumers may switch to domestic products. Notice how, by the way, we're not using extreme wording. Tariffs may raise the price of imports. Demand may fall, right? Consumers may switch. We're not saying will switch. We're not saying demand will fall. Refrain from using extreme wording. All right, let's go further. Consumers may switch to domestic products. Of course, they will have to go to, I mean, again, they won't have to go. They may tend to go to domestic products because the foreign products have become more expensive now. Because of which domestic firms realize this fact and they start to ramp up their production, they increase their output. Okay. Now, in order to increase their output, they need to hire more workers, because of which employment levels go up and unemployment goes down. Next, tariffs can protect infant industries or sunrise industries. This is very true, by the way. And this is the main reason, one of the main reasons why a tariff is imposed in the first place, to protect your sunrise industries, which are your domestic industries that are brand new, right? Or your infant industries, which are brand new. You need to protect them so that foreign producers don't just come in and usurp everything. So tariffs tend to protect infant industries, okay, enabling them to grow, because of which they will tend to ramp up their output, and so they'll hire more workers, because of which unemployment goes down or employment goes up. You can phrase it either way. Further, tariffs can protect declining industries. Now, this is sunset industries, okay, or mature industries, which are starting to achieve or rather suffer diseconomies of scale. So I'll repeat, mature industries or sunset industries which are suffering diseconomies of scale may also need government support, which is why the government tends to levy tariffs and protects them. Okay. Now, this can reduce structural unemployment. In general, it's going to protect you, or rather, going to reduce unemployment. I'll tell you how. If there's a sunset industry or a declining industry which is really mature now, they're suffering diseconomies of scale, they're being pushed out, they're on their way out, but the government steps in. They provide a tariff, because of which the workers will still have a job, they'll still be employed, right? So they won't have to shift out. When the industry as a whole is declining, let's say the DVD manufacturing industry as a whole, right? When that was declining, had there been governmental support where tariffs were levied, such that the domestic consumers are not allowed to import DVDs, then the period for which those industries can survive will be extended. Of course, at some point they are going to die out, but their lifespan is prolonged through tariffs. Okay, so that delays the unemployment, or it reduces the structural unemployment. Further, tax revenues may increase. Very true again. When you're levying tariffs, but foreign producers still want to come into your country and sell their products, well, then they'll have to pay for it. And when they pay for it, who receives that money? It's the government. So government tax revenues tend to go up. Okay. So this is an example of higher government spending that could reduce unemployment. All right, let's talk about this. When a tariff is levied on a foreign producer, the government tends to collect more money. They can use that money to support the local producers, the local industries, right? And so that's basically supporting the local industries, which keeps them in business, which means they will keep their workers employed. And so that prevents or reduces unemployment. Hope you got that. Let's look at the against side of the argument now. Other countries may retaliate, definitely. So let's say, for instance, India, which is where I come from. So India levies tariffs. Okay. Because of this, US, Russia, any other country that we have trade relations with, they might get upset. They might retaliate that why are you levying tariffs on us? Right? So they will also impose tariffs on our products, on our exports, because of which the domestic industries start to suffer. If they levy tariffs on our local producers, then the profit margins tend to contract, because of which we have lesser money to give to the workers now, or we may even have to fire the workers, right? So employment in the export industries may tend to fall. Tariffs on imported raw materials will increase the cost of production, which, by the way, is a non price factor. So that should cause a leftward shift in the supply curve, all right, which may lead to higher prices, absolutely, because your cost of factors of production are going up now. It's becoming more expensive to manufacture a product, because of which you have lesser money available to buy other raw materials, right? So your supply as a whole reduces, causing a leftward shift. The price goes up, the quantity supplied goes down, and also the quantity demanded goes down because of law of demand. Price going up, quantity demanded going down. Lastly, imports may not have domestic substitutes. Very true again. Let's say, for instance, a tariff is levied on a pharmaceutical product which is not manufactured locally, not manufactured domestically. And so that means there are no domestic substitutes available. So price of the imports may still be lower. So consumers may continue to buy imports, right? So if you don't levy tariffs, for instance, then it's easier to buy those products from abroad, because of which the demand will continue to be there. It'll be prevalent. Sorry about that. The demand will be prevalent. So demand for imports may be relatively price inelastic. Okay. So that's your answer. I hope you got that. If you have any doubts, drop that in the comment box. Thank you.